Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's session. My name is Paula Wilson, and I am Equity Arc's Member Services and Communications Manager. I'm joined here today with our Associate Director, McGee Capsuto, and Jade Garcia, our Programs Manager. We're really excited to welcome you to our Common Application for Summer Study Fair for low to medium intensity programs. Tonight, we're going to hear from our partners about the offerings that they have for beginning to intermediate musicians so that you can find the program that is right for you or your musician. So before we turn it over to our partners, we'll share a quick overview of Equity Arc and the Common Application for Summer Study. Okay, so we can go to the next slide. Equity Arc, we began in 2018 as an informal working group of administrators and musicians who were looking to determine what is needed for a musician of color to get from one stage of musical development to the next. And so from those conversations, they came up with the Bridge Matrix, which we now call it the ARC concept. And it shows 5 areas of support that are needed from early all the way to professional stages. So we were formalized into a national member-based service organization in 2020, and now we have over 80 organizational and individual members that span across each stage of musical development. And so a little more about the Common App. Our first official initiative was the Common App, and that was launched in 2021. We heard from our members that the cost of application fees and the time that it takes to record multiple repertoire lists were prohibited, especially for BIPOC musicians. So Equity Arc and 11 summer music programs came together to create a resource that allows BIPOC musicians to apply to multiple summer music festivals with one shared audition list for free. And so that's the Common Application for Summer Study. And also, each partner commits to providing at least one full tuition scholarship to an accepted applicant. And so now we're in our 3rd season, and we have 17 summer partners that you can see on the right of the screen. And this is for musicians of color to apply. And so I'm going to turn it over to McGee to share some more logistical details about the Common App.
I know I had to.
Okay, so the Common Application, as Paula mentioned, allows you to apply to any partnering program that you are eligible for through one application and a shared repertoire list. And what I have up here now is our landing page on Accepted, where you can find all of the details around deadlines and repertoire requirements for the programs that you're interested in. So most of the programs we have here tonight do not require any orchestral excerpts. So instead, what you'll need to do is just submit 6 to 10 minutes of solo materials of your choice. And on our landing page, you'll see that you can come over here and put your age in. I'm going to pretend I'm 13 years old today. And it's going to show you in this dropdown every single program that you can apply to as a 13-year-old. And the most important thing to keep in mind is that you do need to submit an application for every program that you're interested in. And to make this easier, once you've done one application, all of your information, all of your answers are going to autofill directly into the next one. So all you need to do is just make sure that you hit submit so that your materials go to all of the programs that you are interested in. And you'll see on here, once you select a program, it's going to show you what the deadline is. And if you scroll down, you can also see a whole list of deadlines. So this is a great hub for information. And the only other thing I want you just to keep in mind throughout this process is that you may receive communications from our partners. So we ask that you just keep an eye open for any outreach that you have, and keeping this communication alive, will just help everybody throughout the process. So I am going to stop sharing my screen, and we will turn it over to the fantastic programs that are part of this initiative.
Thanks, McGee. So just like McGee said, we're going to get on with our summer study fair, and we're going to start with creative music.
Hi, everybody. I'm Peter Slowick, Artistic Director for Credo, and I've been teaching viola and chamber music at places like Oberlin, Cleveland Institute, Northwestern, Indiana Eastman for over 40 years. About 25 years ago, I created the Credo programs to nurture and challenge young string players in a unique way. Although I've had a lot of success in preparing talented players to enter into major professional orchestras, my greatest personal joy comes from applying these same standards and teaching practices to students in their pre-college years, you folks, basically the audience, some as young as 7 or 8 years old. Last night, I was delighted to be part of Equity Arc's brilliant session for a high-intensity program. It was really wonderful to be among great administrators from top summer programs. These famous places that you all aspire to had wonderful slideshows that were compellingly presented by their executive director. I was the only person that I saw that was a teacher. And I think that's the difference about Credo. Our organization is a little bit more visceral and kind of crunchy granola. We strive to be a direct conduit between great teachers and talented students. Our success at Credo, I think, comes from individual work that we do to help students find and develop the best version of themselves. We work hard at Credo to support the excellent teaching that's already being done at the local level and the brilliant parenting you all are providing. Credo, especially our local programs like Boston or St. Louis, are really focused on creating great people who are also fine musicians. We do this by serving our mission statement: develop the gift, acknowledge the source, and respond in service. Let me drill down a little bit on that. Develop the gift by great musical training. We provide core spiritual values, acknowledging the source of the gift, and we show students how to serve society with their art and being, hence respond in service. The city festivals, only in their second year now, model what Credo does at the national level for 25 years. We do chamber music, we do string orchestra, we do classes on musical form and analysis. In other words, we help students begin their art of interpretation. We do movement and conducting, and then we take one day a week to go and serve the community with our music and our being. Every student is valued at Credo for who they are. I want to point out that our city programs are non-residential. That is, we don't provide housing and food for you guys. We want to focus our efforts on the instruction and fellowship that takes place during the day. Most of our students who come to Credo City Festival stay at home with their families or relatives in the town, although sometimes students do come from several states away to share Airbnbs as a group and come to the City Festival. Who should come to a Credo City Festival? Any serious string player advanced enough to be independent in chamber music. Generally, we say Suzuki Book 4 or above, and on up to even local and national competition winners. Credo has a wonderful family atmosphere where everyone is welcome and everyone helps each other out. For super advanced players, it's possible to combine a city festival like Boston or St. Louis with the Credo National Festival in Symphony Center in Chicago. And at 1 week, you can do 2 Credo programs, or you can do one of ours and another fine program you're going to hear about tonight. There's a lot of great choices out there for you. So we kept ours short so you can combine ours with others. I'm very personally involved in every hour and every day of the Credo City Festivals. That's why you're seeing me here tonight. And if you come, I can promise you that the week you have at Credo will be among the most work and the most fun you'll ever have had. So enjoy hearing about the other programs.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Next, we have Interlochen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah Charette, the Assistant Director of Admission and Partnership Manager at Interlochen Center for the Arts. I'm so excited to be here with you today. So before we get into what we have, let's talk a little bit about why you would come to Interlochen. You get to make friends from all over the world. Last year, we represented over 42 countries and 53 states and territories. You get to develop independence and individuality as you are learning your art. You have access to amazing teachers. We had over faculty from over 100 colleges, universities, and conservatories. You have access to state-of-the-art facilities, both our buildings, and you get to create your art under the beautiful pine trees and by the lakes at Interlochen. You get to share your art with others and collaborate with your friends. Not only do we have music on our campus, but we have 7 full arts areas. So you get to not only make music with other musicians, but also collaborate with filmmakers or theater majors. You get to explore your art form and maybe some more in your free time. You get to discover a new place up in northern Michigan. You get to try and fail in a safe space. It is so important to know that no one is perfect in their art. We love students who have passion and potential, and we hope to help you turn that into a purpose. And you get to enjoy all the fun of art and camp. So what we have is our junior division, our grades 3 through 6. You have 2 and 4 week options in a variety of music forms. So we have our advanced strings, which is going to be your 4-week program. All others are 2 weeks. And this year we did add a guitar program for those who are interested in guitar, whether that be classical or jazz. We also have programs for grades 6 through 8. Those are going to be 3 or 6 week options. All of those will have 2 sessions other than our contemporary music programs. And then we have our fun camp life. So after you've spent 5 or 6 hours in your arts area each day, you get to have so much fun in your typical camp experience. So you'll be outdoors. We have 2 beautiful lakes with activities on those, as well as all of your sports and arts and crafts in the afternoons. On the weekends, students might go to the dunes and have some fun on an off-campus trip. And then each cabin has a cabin life night where they do a special activity to bond with their 12 to 14 other campers in their cabin from various arts areas. Some of our activities here are swimming, tennis, archery. Stilt walking is a fun pastime. You can go and see kids playing ping pong, having picnics, you name it, we've probably got it. And then there's also some fun traditions. So not only do you get to have fun, but there's always some kind of celebration happening on camp, no matter what session you're attending. And of course, our final Lay Preludes concert to end camp at the very end of the sessions, which has been going on for almost 100 years. So our application is due by January 15th, and we hope to see you soon. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us directly.
Thanks, Hannah. Up next, we have Kim Haven.
Hi, my name is Sandy Dennis, and I am a former co-director of Kinhaven Junior Session. Our session is for kids who are kids going into 5th through 9th grade. If you are going into 9th grade, you also have the option of auditioning for senior session, and then you can do either. Our program is chamber music and orchestra based. We have every instrument covered for a full orchestra. We also have a piano program, and our day is pretty much split into music in the morning, fun / everything in the afternoon, and music in the evening. In the morning, we do chamber music coachings. We do private lessons, and there's also time for practicing, of course. In the evening, after dinner, we have full orchestra, we have string orchestra, we have brass choir, and we have wind ensemble, 45 minutes each. And depending on what a student plays, you can kind of mix and match. So you could be in full orchestra and be in wind ensemble, or you could be in full orchestra and string ensemble. It depends on your instrument pretty much. Pianists who do not play, well, pianists who do play a second instrument get to play in full orchestra, and pianists who do not have a second instrument also get to play in full orchestra on timpani. And it has actually, that timpani has actually changed lives. So that everybody is a part of the orchestra. We also have chorus that meets 3 times a week. And the afternoons are spent doing either sports or art. We have a full art shack where we do everything from pottery to beads to bracelets to pretty much anything. And we also offer swimming and fun things like when it rains, we do things like mud soccer and fun things like that. Anyway, it's a great program. We have about 75 kids each summer. This is takes place in the last 2 weeks of August, which is kind of a downtime for everybody. It's right before school starts, which really inspires kids to go home and practice because they're all fired up from concerts. In the 2 weeks, we do have 5 concerts where everybody is playing their chamber music, and all the large groups play as well. Our students come from all over the United States and many, many foreign countries. I wanted to say, even other than the Common App, we have never had application fees. And junior session does not have, it runs a little differently from senior session. We do not have deadlines for applying. Best times to apply are in, I would say, late January to late February. And so when a class fills up, that's it. But we don't have an absolute deadline for instruments. We also keep a wait list. And I do have to say, I have been there since its founding year of 1990. I also taught at senior session since 1986. And I can honestly say that Kinhaven has changed a lot of kids' lives for the better. It's a wonderful program, and kids come and make lifelong friends and lifelong musical connections. And as the kids will tell you, our food is fantastic. That's Kinhaven. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy. Up next, we have Luzerne.
Perfect. Let me just share my screen here. So hello, everyone. I'm Emily. I'm the camp director at Luzerne Music Center. So we are a smaller overnight camp up in the Adirondacks. We're about 3 hours north of New York City. And similarly, actually, to Kinhaven, we run an orchestral and piano program. And then all of our students are also in a chamber music group too. So I'll start off tonight. I'll talk a little bit about our program overall and specifically our junior session. So those options are either 2 or 4 week session options, and it's for students ages 9 through 15. So just a little bit of an overview for our campers' daily life. We say that the musical day at camp runs from about 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So in the morning, it tends to be a little bit more individual in time. Students will have a private lesson. There is chamber music rehearsal and also practice time in the morning. So again, every student is in a chamber music group, and they actually meet with their chamber music coach for coaching every day with one of our faculty members. And then in the afternoon is where we have a little bit larger groups. So that's when our orchestra rehearses, and we have our piano group class, studio class then in the afternoon. Our orchestra rehearsal runs for 2 hours every day in the afternoon, and the orchestra performs every week. So you're learning a lot of repertoire at a very high level very quickly. And then additionally to those rehearsals, we also have an elective program for some large group classes, music theory, music history, music leadership, things like that. And there are some opportunities to take some supplemental private lessons in composition or conducting if you're interested in exploring, a new aspect of music. Students have at least one performance opportunity every week that they're at camp, and there are solo performance opportunities for students. And we also do have a concerto competition in our junior B session, and the winner of the competition will perform with the student orchestra in the final concert of the junior session. And we are, again, like I said, a smaller program. So we typically have about 70 students at a time in our session. So there's a lot of personal attention. And we also have our faculty perform concerts on camp once a week as well. So you also get to see your teachers perform in their own chamber groups. In addition to those faculty, we invite guest artists from around the country to come in and work with our students and have master classes as well. Beyond the musical side of camp, we do also pride ourselves on creating that experience that blends that, music festival environment with also traditional camp aspects. So lots of games, arts and crafts, campfires, we have waterfront. So any time outside of that 8 to 4 block is kind of fair game for the campsite. We have daily recreation activities. And again, we have a private beachfront where students can swim, kayak, canoe, take out paddleboard. And all of these activities are choice-based. So students can really go and do what they're interested in. And we really do find that it's a great balance, especially for our junior session students. If you were here last night, I chatted a bit about our senior session program, which is mostly for our high school students. And our junior session, it definitely has a little bit more fun and play for the younger age group. So it's a really fun environment to be in. We also do take some off-camp trips. We go off camp to go to some concerts, but we also go off camp to do, typically we go whitewater rafting with the campers. We go to a high ropes course, go to an amusement park, some local things in town. And we're really fortunate for our living spaces, our cabins. We got these new cabins just a few years ago, and we're really happy to have them. We have both single gender cabins and gender inclusive cabin housing options. All of the cabins house up to 8 students, and the bathroom is right inside of the cabin for privacy. And, they even have air conditioning in them, which is definitely not what we had when I was at camp growing up. Talking just a little bit about our dates for our junior session. So it runs earlier in the summer. It actually runs from June 23rd to July 19th. That's the 4-week option. And then again, you can break that up either into the first 2 weeks, which we call our junior A session, or the last 2 weeks, which is our junior B session. The dates for both of those are up there on the slide, along with the link to our website and my email. So if you want to screenshot the slide, it has all of the most important information. And our applications are open until March 15th. But I'm grateful to be here. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to connect with you. And like others have said, we're really grateful to be a part of the Equity Arc Common Application, and excited to help you find a good program that will fit with you for your summer.
Thank you, Emily. Up next is New England Music Camp.
Hi, everyone. My name is Thea Holman. I'm the Associate Director at New England Music Camp. And we actually just had a video that is new come out today. So that's what I'll share with you all. But the 2 programs that I wanted to highlight that are in the video that would be appropriate for this group is our core program, which is 4 weeks for ages 11 to 18, and then our prelude program, which is 2 weeks for ages 9 to 13. So let me just share my screen. Fingers crossed. Oh no, it's asking me to do things.
You can also send us the link and we could share it as well.
Yes, I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm gonna share, can I share a Google Drive link with you?
Mhm.
Okay, I apologize, everybody.
Yeah, you could just put it in the chat for me.
Okay, great.
Does not look like that link worked for me.
Okay, then I'll just talk. It's fine. And then it's on our website, so if you want to see it later. Sorry about that. So our core program, like I said, is 4 weeks long, ages 11 to 18. And our prelude program is 9 through 13, and it's 2 weeks. And regardless of whichever program you're interested in, we really pride ourselves on having a balance between the musical time for campers and the recreational time, having that traditional camp experience. So in the morning, it's all music classes, rehearsals. You might take a sight reading class, a world music class, be in as many ensembles as you would like. And then in the afternoon, it's all dedicated to the more traditional camp experience with canoeing, kayaking. We take walks around our property. We're located in Sydney, Maine, which is about an hour and a half north of Portland and about 20 minutes away from Augusta, which is our state capital. Our core program, we have about 180 kids in that program, and our prelude program is a bit smaller with about 50 students. And regardless of whatever program you pick, we're here to answer any questions along the way. And if it's not one of our programs, we hope it's one of the other awesome programs on this call. And our website is nemc.org. You can find us there. And we're here to answer any questions that you all might have along the way.
Thank you, Thea. And you're welcome to share the video with me afterward and I can put it in the materials.
Thank you.
Sure. Up next is Siwani.
Hi, everybody. Let me see if I can get our video to work. We had a little bit of the same technical challenges, but let's see. I'm cautiously optimistic. No. You really don't want to see my Slack, do you? Hang on, let me see if I can make this work. Shares. Okay, I think it's working. Great.
Sewanee was life-changing for me. The breadth of the experience that I had was really significant. Everything from large ensembles like orchestra to smaller ensembles, playing in a variety of chamber groups, having an opportunity to take things like music theory. And it was really fun to be around other musicians. And there are people with whom I've stayed in contact for the last 35 years. Music is a small world, and it's nice to have people who think the same way you do and want to be involved in the same things. So Sewanee was a place where I really felt at home. By the time I left, I knew what I wanted to do. Kids who are serious about music and have music in school and take lessons, to come here and put it all into context in a short period of time, really concentrated, you leave with like this, it's like a jetpack, just like propelling you forward over the next year. And I mean, you know, the day I left Swanee was the first day that I wanted to come back.
How is Mill different from compost?
No YouTube ads. Okay, so that was just a little quick shot about what we do in Swanee. We are a 4-week summer program. We have 2 orchestras. We have a chamber music program. We have a new program this year called Concerto Lab, which is an opportunity for younger players that may not quite be ready to compete in our concerto competition. They could submit recordings of their concerto movements, and they get to workshop those with a conductor, with our string faculty, and with the festival orchestra, and perform them for an audience. It's an event, but it's not quite at the same stress level, I might say, as our big concerto competition that happens at the end of the summer. We're really excited about the Concerto Lab. All of our students play in chamber music based on age and ability level. And for the most part, our orchestras tend to split into pre-college students, and then our Swanee Symphony students tend to be college and graduate students. One of the things I like about Swanee is, even though we have distinct programs and distinct experiences, different dorms for our pre-college students, different, more of a resident life experience that you would have there, you're still going to be possibly playing an orchestra, in studio class, interacting with older students. So if you have an interest in pursuing music, you're going to get to see a little bit of a preview of that at our program, while still having, the kind of supervision and the kind of support that some of our younger musicians need. Our average age has gone down a little bit in the last few years. It was creeping up a little bit too much for my taste in terms of our pedagogical experiences. And so our average student age is now 18. In the string area, it tends to be a little bit younger. And in brass and winds, it tends to be a little bit older. And of course, since we added opera, that's kind of messed up the curve again, because opera singers tend to develop later in their artistic lives. So as I said, we're 4 weeks, and we have a ton of information on our website, on our YouTube channel. Our new video is going to be actually premiering tomorrow on YouTube, so you can check all of that out. If you follow us on any of those social media channels, it'll be there. And happy to answer any questions about the program that you may have. Thanks for this. And whether it's Swanee or another program on this call, or anything you do, keep playing your instrument in the summers, keep staying engaged with music. There's some really terrific programs here on this call, and you'll definitely find a home at one of them for sure. Appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you, John. And last but not least, we have VIA Academy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Robinson. I am the co-artistic director for VIA Academy. I believe last night or yesterday evening, you got to see and meet Corbin Castro, who talked a lot about our program. And I'll talk a lot about our program also in a similar way. But I also want to introduce something that we have that's a bit unique to VIA Academy, called our auditor program. But before I get into all of that stuff, I will briefly share video for you guys.
Both the virtual and the in-person portions of VIA Academy were very awesome in the help and feedback that they provided, and the coaching from them for chamber, especially since this was one of my first chamber experiences. It was very, very fun experience.
You can make her feel that she's in it together.
It was the first day, and they mentioned a community project, and I was like, what is a community project? Asking me, how can I better my community? What can I do to better my community? And what are things that my community needs? And I think it's fascinating that so much people come together for just one purpose.
I want to pursue a path forward in composing and conducting an orchestra. The community project proposal really gave me a different perspective on how music can affect the community around us and how we can build off of that.
I need to hear. It's like a siren. Now we want to do a bunch of notes together that cover a larger range. Excellent.
I was able to perform for Maestro Prieto, and he taught me so much about my performance and how to improve it with deciding what exactly I wanted to do and how I wanted to get my project known.
If you're looking into VIA Academy and you're just interested, do it.
Please do not hesitate to give this a shot. It will really open your mind. It will give you a bigger picture of what music really is, how it can affect your life and the lives of people around you. It will be a great experience for you, I promise.
All right, so that's I like showing that video because you get to see really kind of like the behind the scenes, what it looks like kind of day to day. So a lot of what you saw was basically that instrumental, skills instruction. So you saw a lot of lessons, you saw a lot of people with instruments, you saw a lot of people performing, things like that. But you also heard a lot of people talk about their involvement in the community and what it means, and how playing an instrument, being a musician, why music, why does that matter? Why playing music in your life why is that meaningful to you? And why is that important for your future and the things that you hope to achieve in your life? So those questions that you heard a lot of people talk about in the video, that's also a large part of our curriculum, and a lot of the things that we do as a program that we help all students try to uncover, or at least start to uncover that. I know, for people who are interested in having a life in music on many different facets, it doesn't have to be, a actual professional musician. It could be just, a really strong hobby for you. And really what you want to go is in some kind of medical field or something like that. That's totally fine. We still have a place for you at VIA Academy. So a lot of our program is split up in those two buckets. So we have a lot of instrumental skill training, which is your lessons, you have chamber music, you have master classes and things like that. But another really large part of our program is actually the entrepreneurial training that we do. We have a lot of our students, actually every student, crafts some kind of community project that they can actually implement in their own communities, because a lot of our students come from all across the United States. Last year we had students from 10 different states out of 20 students. And so we have a lot of students coming from different backgrounds, different geographical areas. And it's really good for them to kind of get into this idea of what they're doing in the practice room and what they're working so hard on, how that affects their future life and why it matters, and why we become musicians in the first place. So that's a big part. So like entrepreneurial skills, we talk about networking, we talk about finding financial support, whether that's getting a better instrument, whether that's maybe some kind of fundraising skills that you need to help implement your community project or something like that. We also talk a lot about career pathways. That's also in music, so career pathways in music, but also what a career pathway could look like in multiple different areas, not just music, but also, like I mentioned, something like the medical field, or how they can be combined. There's a lot of different ways that we can be a musician or in the arts outside of just being on a stage and performing, playing an instrument, or in an orchestra or a chamber ensemble, or teaching, or things like that. There's so many other careers. And I think last year we talked about something like 160 different careers in the arts that you can actually do, and create a life for yourself. So that's something that we talk about. We also do a lot in health and wellness. So we invite Noah Kageyama, who's on the faculty for the Juilliard School, and he talks a lot about performance anxiety, how to perform your best all the time in a reliable way, in a consistent way. And he gives a lot of great feedback. He does a lot of like a little workshop with the students, things like that. We also have master classes. We do some college preparation classes and things like that. And I also want to mention that everything is completely free, whether you're an auditor, whether you're a full participant in the program. That means your tuition, that means your travel, that means your housing, that means your food. It's all provided from the program. And then also just like to touch now on the auditor program. So the auditor program is mostly for students who we either feel like maybe it's not, their time to be into the program this year. Maybe they're a little bit younger. Maybe it's, there's not a lot of space. We are growing. So last year, like I said, we had about 20 students. This coming summer, we're hoping to have 30 students. And so sometimes some of the instruments, because of how the ensembles work and things like that, we need more of. But if you play the tuba, for example, we'll only accept really one tuba. And so there might be, 4 tuba applicants. And so we want to help some of those other students that apply that might not have a chance to attend this summer. So that's where our auditor program comes in. And I do want to say anyone who applies, whether you say, like, no matter, how high level your audition is or how high level your essay is, we will accept you into our auditor program. So if you apply, you will be accepted into the VIA Academy auditor program, and it's completely free. I want to make that clear because we feel like if you took the time to fill out the application, to even decide that this is something that you might want to do and you're interested in, we want to provide some kind of resource, some kind of education or something, so that you can get that kind of experience. Because we really feel, and what's a big part of why we started the Academy is that this is a program for everyone, no matter what you see your future being, whether you become a professional musician or not. We feel like there's something that we can do. So a lot of the entrepreneurial training that you'll get, we feel like can actually go into any kind of career pathway, not just in music. So the auditor program, it's really specific in that, where it's you get all of that kind of future developmental type of training through that, and it's all primarily online in the auditor program. So and if you do become a participant, if you get accepted as a participant, you'll do a week online, and then it's an additional week in person in Miami, and we'll provide all the round trip airfare if you're not local to Miami. And again, the housing and all of that. It will be at the New World Center. So it's the home of the New World Symphony in Miami Beach, Florida. And it's an incredible building. It's basically what you saw in the video, all at the New World Center. It's not a very old building, maybe like less than 10 years old. And it's one of the most technologically advanced buildings or concert halls in the world. It's an incredible building. You can connect basically anywhere through online access throughout the world. There's miles of cables throughout the building. It's really, really amazing place. I was actually lived there for 3 years as a violin fellow at the New World Symphony. So I got a lot of experience in that building, performing concerts, studying, practicing, and all of that. And so it's an incredible place to learn and an incredible place to be inspired and to think about all these things that we'll talk about during the summer. So again, my name's Chris. I'm also the violin teaching artist for the program. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to go to our website. It should have basically everything you would want to know, but if there's more questions, I'm always available through the emails that are on our website. And yeah, we hope that you attend our program, and if not, totally, we understand. And I think I've actually, in my own time studying the violin and growing up in classical music and pursuing the path of music, I've been to some of these programs that are actually here today. And I turned out all right. So you're in the right place. You're in the right place. So thank you all for coming today, and yeah, looking forward to the summer.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. And thank you to all of our partners for sharing about your programs. I hope that you all have heard something that's really interesting to you. I see in the chat we have a lot of parents that are here. And so I'm thinking it might be good if we open up breakout rooms for the remaining of our 13 minutes here, so that if there's a program you have specific questions for, especially if this is like your kid's first time going off to camp, you can, ask some in-depth questions about that experience. So we'll open that up. And then McGee and I will also be here in this room if you have any technical questions about the Common App. So we'll just use our last time with that.